letting my ego die right now. I wanted to do a voiceover for this one because I thought I'd go into a bit of detail about the painting, like the inspiration, the process, rather than just music and painting, because I find it really interesting when other artists talk about that stuff. So doing a voiceover time lapse. It's a wolf, and the inspiration came from my other half. It was a painting I did for my other half, who is obsessed with wolves. His football team is wolves, so it's super tribal. Once I'd kind of run with the theme, then I started to mind map, which is what I do at the beginning of a painting. I don't know if anyone else does that. I find it really helps to just, like, you've decided what you want to do, whether it's like, I don't know, nature or a portrait or a character. I suppose a character would be like a better example, because then you go into kind of like the story of the mood, I don't know, like who they are, where they live, that kind of thing. Especially if you're creating them from scratch, like it's not just someone that you know or just painting straight from a photo or whatever. Like when it's a kind of conceptual, like a concept that you're trying to come up with yourself, I find it really just a mind map at the beginning. I decided it was going to be a lone wolf, and I wanted him to look quite powerful and like intense. I wanted the mood to be I went for like a real close-up, because obviously when I was doing the thumbnails, I was thinking I can do him like on a rock, I could do him like lying down. At one point I really liked the idea of him kind of standing with his head down, like looking up, kind of like he's prowling. So I did a few like that, and then after doing all my thumbnails, the one that I really liked the most was just a real huge close-up of his face. So it was just like boom, like his just head is there, and then the rest would just be like figuring out just how to put the atmosphere in the background. I just mind map, so I was just writing like him alone, struggling, it's like grueling, he's strong. I wanted it to be a bit ghostly and cold. From that, and then I decided I wanted to put crystals in it. Crystals kind of, they all have like their own meanings, so I wanted to put them in the picture somehow, and the crystals would kind of represent like independence and strength and knowledge, like wise. And then I was thinking, like all that could somehow be stored in the crystals. And then I was trying to figure out how to get them in, and then I thought maybe in the ears. Like they look like nothing, these thumbnails. And then the one on the left is more of like a value thumbnail, so it was just getting the darks to lights down, so it's kind of fading in the middle. Obviously it's really bright, so it's going to be a white grey wolf, and then it's dark at the top. So yeah, that's kind of what I do those value thumbnails for. It's just my reference when I do the actual painting. I find I'm more relaxed and comfortable and confident just going with the paints when I've got these thumbnails. That was like a bigger scale one to see what it would look like on a bigger scale, which I quite liked. Obviously it's a pretty terrible drawing. This was when I'd done a little bit more rendering, so I'd made the nose like thinner, which I liked, and I was going to do some patterns around the third eye, but I didn't end up doing that because it was a bit busy. And then these are when I went on to my colour thumbnails, which I like to do, because again when I get to like the painting bit, it's just I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not just mixing random colours. So that was the first one. This is the second one that I did. I felt like I was getting closer, but I wasn't. I don't know, like it normally clicks. And then this was the one that I really liked. I was like, yeah, I'm really feeling these colours. And then you can see like a little swatch at the bottom, which is just like a little tiny photo of a crystal, and I was just kind of swatching colours off it, and they're just these thumbnails look like absolutely nothing. They're just like a mess, but I kind of know what they are. Yeah, so Sorry if this voiceover's been terrible. I'm considering being drunk for the next one. Yeah, I'll kind of leave you to watch the rest of the time lapse. I talked a little bit about my process. I couldn't really think of kind of what else to go through. I guess the one last thing would be the caption I put when I kind of posted it and put it out there into the world for everyone to judge, which was kind of thinking about modern day worries and making it a bit of a metaphor. So I've got it written down actually. Let me just pull it up. So fucking disorganised. Maybe next time I'll be more organised when doing a voiceover as well. That might help. The caption is that he's not just a wolf, he's a philosopher of the woods. You know, he's got his crystals full of his powers, he's got his third eye connecting to that nature. He doesn't worry about the numbers of kills he'll succeed in for the next year. He only concentrates on his next kill, so it's kind of like thinking about being present and in the moment, not worrying about unnecessary things and what the future holds, just taking it each day at a time. He only worries about his next kill and how he's going to execute it. He plays to his strengths, tries to improve every time, and uses his fails as lessons. Each time he does, a shiny new crystal grows, and he's got a fair few now, so he's doing alright. It's tough out there in the wild, but Nunodyte was put on this planet to be a wolf, so he knows he might as well enjoy the process, which is kind of like applying the way I feel being an artist sometimes. I can overlook the fact that you're meant to be enjoying the process.